and shadows fall. I'll be beside you whenever you call. When worries weigh heavy and fears take flight, I'll be your strength, guiding through the night. And when the days are dark and heavy on your heart, I'll be the voice to guide you through the dim. Strong walls may crumble, but within you've got the spark. Just turn the key, let light dissolve the grim. Did you think you were alone in your feelings? Strike a match, let your inner strength be seen. Welcome to all things serious. In the depths of your despair, where demons roam, I'll be the hand to hold. You're never alone. When storms rage fierce and winds blow strong, I'll be the shelter in your soul where you belong. Welcome to all things serious.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. So, I am a little late. Yes, I am. And I apologize. So let's see who's in chat. We got Vibe. How you doing? Juicer. How you doing? Eve. How you doing? Kib Kitty. How you doing? Serena. April T. Lisa. Diana. Rody Gal. How you doing? Sweet and Sleuthy. How you doing? BB. How you doing? You know, I was before I get this live started on fixation. What is fixation? Hyperfixation. I was going back. What's going on, Gregory? What are you scared of? Oh boy. That's hard to deal with. I'm sorry to hear that. She has Alzheimer's, right? Having Alzheimer's or dementia is very tough. It is very tough. It's the meds. Okay, that's you might want to talk to the doctor then. You might want to talk to the doctor, Gregory. If it's the meds. So yeah, listen to the people in chat. Listen to Sarah and April T. You need to reach out to the doctor. Yes. Listen to read what Sarah wrote. So I wasn't planning. I was planning, everything was planned. Hopefully that changes. So as I was gonna say, I just woke up. I was in a deep sleep. My alarm went off a few minutes late, and it was like, I'm like, oh boy, I hope people ain't upset I'm late, because I don't ever go up late. I'm usually wanting to go early. So I am waking up, drinking coffee. I had a headache, so I took a nap. Everything is going good. Everything is going good. So I want to talk about April T. Brought up hyperfixation. So while I was, looking up hyperfixation, it's part of ADHD or OCD, or for those who have autism spectrum. Hyperfixation is a state of intense focus on a single activity or interest for a prolonged period of time. It can involve becoming so absorbed in a task that a person tunes out everything else around them. Someone might lose track of time. They might not hear others talking around them. They might not notice sights or sounds around them. They might become so engrossed in an activity that they forgot to eat or sleep. What causes hyperfixation? Hyperfixation can affect anyone, but it's more common in people with ADHD or OCD or those on the autism spectrum. What are the consequences? Hyperfixation can be helpful, but it also can cause problems in daily life. For example, someone might neglect their health, forget to do chores, or miss work or school. How can you manage it? Try to be more present in the moment and aware of what's going on around you. Practice mindfulness. Set time limits. Use timers or set time limits for certain tasks. Seek professional help. A therapist can help you identify and address the underlying causes of your hyperfixation. So, hyperfixation. That's interesting. I I can't focus on one subject. My little brother has ADHD, but with his problem is he'll have many projects going on all at once, and he can't stay focused on one subject at a time. He bounces around. So I'm going to open up the panel because there's not much info except what I read about hyperfixation. You know, they have it in teens, but I'm not talking to teenagers. I'm talking to adults. So, if you as an adult has hyperfixation and want to come up and share, you're more than welcome. You know, they talk about like what I'm searching for. I might be searching in the wrong places. Hyperfixation as an adult. Okay. Now let's see. I want more info. It just talks about ADHD. All right, what's this? Let's find this out. Okay, so what is hyperfixation? In simpler terms, hyperfixation refers to intense and prolonged interest in or obsession with certain activities, subject, or person. Okay. While episodes of hyperfixation can be common among those with ADHD, this also appears with other mental health conditions such as autism spectrum disorder or OCD. Definition. We already went through that. Okay, so you have hyperfixation and then you have hyperfocus. Although the two terms are commonly used interchangeably in casual conversations, there are actively important differences between hyperfixation and hyperfocus, especially for those with ADHD. Differences in triggers. While both hyperfixation and hyperfocus may be triggered by an activity that deeply interests a person, there are subtle but important differences in the way that interest manifests or triggers an episode. With hyperfocus, this kind of intense passion or interest is typically goal-oriented in nature, which is why someone psychological research suggests that it includes a state of hyperfocus may actually be beneficial for those looking to accomplish certain tasks or goals. Taking this research a step further, some individuals even attempt to trigger hyperfocus, also called flow state, intentionally in order to increase productivity. In instances of ADHD, hyperfixation, however, this all-consuming interest in an activity, concept, or person often has no firm goal outside of the interest itself. This means that while hyperfixation and hyperfocus may share certain triggers, it can feel infinitely harder to manage hyperfixation in a healthy way. Biologically speaking, both hyperfocus and hyperfixation involve the brain's reward system. With hyperfocus, the brain processes accomplishments and feelings of reward properly once certain goals have been met. In hyperfixation, these feelings of reward and accomplishment may malfunction, leaving individuals in a situation where they constantly seek reward while never fully satisfying the desire. If you suspect that you may be struggling with ADHD, it is important to get proper diagnosis with a licensed mental health care therapist. Kathy, how you doing? And how you doing? Differences in duration and control. Both hyperfocus is typically tied to a certain goal or achievement. It naturally comes along with set endpoint, which is the accomplishment of whatever that goal or achievement may be. Once milestones have met and the reward center of the brain has been successfully triggered, feelings of hyperfocus tend to fade on their own. Hyperfixation, on the other hand, does not share this objective, goal-seeking quality. Instead, episodes of hyperfixation may last indefinitely, even at the expense of negative consequences, neglecting important jobs or chores, or damaging relationships. Additionally, while some people have shown the ability to slip into and out of state of hyperfocus willingly, hyperfixation is a far less voluntary experience and often requires some other external stimulus for a person to break free. Common manifestations of hyperfixation. Hyperfixation manifests differently for different people. Even those who share ADHD symptoms, some of the most common types of hyperfixations are obsessive interests, difficulty switching between tasks, even when bored by fixation, committing excessive time or attention to a subject, compulsively researching a specific topic, repetitive behaviors, needing to arrange or organize items perfectly, following set routines such as taking specific roads when driving, easily overlooked habitual behaviors like nail biting. intense focus on people, excessively idolizing or dating a new love interest, replaying and overanalyzing conversations or interactions, experiencing extreme jealousy or worry, overthinking and ruminating, fixation on and overanalyzing past mistakes, constantly envisioning worst case scenarios, habitually doubting or second guessing decisions. Underlying causes of fixation. As we mentioned earlier, even neurotypical adults may have experienced periods of hyperfixation. That said, ADHD makes these periods much more likely due to various factors. Although hyperfixation has clearly defined neurological roots, research has also shown that environmental factors can trigger or reduce episodes. By understanding these factors, it's possible to stave off unhealthy bouts of hyperfixation, much like you would with another impeding mental health crisis. Neurological underpinnings. Some of the neurological considerations that predispose those with ADHD to hyperfixation are dopamine deficits. A lowered level of dopamine is one of the hallmark signs of ADHD, and it contributes to perpetuating episodes of hyperfixation. Just like too little dopamine can make it difficult to change negative thought patterns, it can also make it more challenging to shift between tasks, especially from a stimulating task to a less stimulating but more important one. Poor impulse control. Although poor impulse control in those with ADHD is directly tied to an imbalance in dopamine and serotonin levels, it is nonetheless important to talk about its own subject, because individuals with ADHD are more prone to being distracted by appealing subjects or activities. They are also more likely to fall into periods of hyperfixation when surrounded by various stimuli. Deficit emotional regulation. Because ADHD can make it more difficult to regulate emotions, topics, conversations, or activities that are emotionally charged may be more likely to trigger ADHD hyperfixation. Research shows that this is due to the way the ADHD impairs the brain's ability to transmit or process emotional information in the same way as neurotypical individuals. Other disorders with hyperfixation tendencies. Although it's perhaps most commonly associated with ADHD, hyperfixation also appears in many other mental health conditions, including autism spectrum disorder. Individuals with autism may develop more specific instances of hyperfixation regarding a certain interest or tasks, such as trains, license plates, or a historical period. Because this type of hyperfixation is generally more enduring and consistent than ADHD hyperfixation, it may cause difficulties when trying to develop new hobbies or participate in unfamiliar activities. OCD. One of the more common recognized conditions associated with hyperfixation is OCD, which involves an obsessive preoccupation with certain behaviors, patterns, or rituals. Often, this type of preoccupation is driven by feelings of anxiety or discomfort, with breaks of hyperfixation episodes causing mental or emotional distress. Depression and anxiety. Unlike other externally directed types of hyperfixation, depression and anxiety can cause an individual to hyperfocus on negative thoughts or emotions. When this happens, hyperfixation can cause a sort of self-sustaining loop wherein negative thoughts fuel worry or sadness, which in turn fuels more negative thoughts. Psychological and physiological triggers. Outside of chemical and structural differences associated with ADHD, many environmental factors can increase the risk of hyperfixation. Stress and anxiety. When faced with intense or ongoing stress and anxiety, individuals without an adequate coping mechanism may look to escape by diving into a particular activity or interest. Left unchecked, this tendency may devolve into hyperfixation. In addition to the lower levels of dopamine experienced by people with ADHD, several lifestyle factors can exacerbate this deficiency. Among these are things like poor diet, lack of physical activity, or sleep deprivation, all of which may have severe negative impacts on emotional regulation and mental state. How to manage hyperfixation. Overcoming hyperfixation requires more than just an effort of will, and often it's best to seek professional help when dealing with regular bouts of hyperfixation. In these cases, finding the right mental health professional to help you build effective, realistic methods to prevent or break free from hyperfixation is crucial. Set time limits. When attempting to manage hyperfixation in your day-to-day life, it can be useful to set strict time limits or physical timers when performing a task you know is likely to trigger an episode. Rather than avoiding activities, enjoy altogether. Simply set a timer on your phone, computer, or other devices. By giving yourself an objective, physical reminder, you may be able to more easily break free from hyperfixation. Mindfulness and lifestyle changes. Following a strict sleep schedule and nighttime routine. Difficult. Practice mindfulness and focused breathing. Track your daily screen time on various devices. Get more physical activity to help regulate dopamine levels. Eat a healthy and nutritious diet. So that is hyperfixation. Interesting. Interesting. So I knew about ADHD, but I didn't know about hyperfixation and hyperfocus. So now that we covered hyperfixation, for those of you that are on Facebook, I can be found on Facebook under All Things Serious. So if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, it's All Things Serious. Instagram, All Things Serious. Twitter or X, All Things Serious. So I'm easily reachable. April T, Diana, if you still listen, and Rody Gal, if you're still here. You know, I was going back old videos of when I first started this channel. Three people I just messaged are some of the OGs of this channel. Rody Gal, Diana, and April T. Sweet and Sleuthy also are some OGs of this channel. And it's amazing. Yeah, I was going back in time looking and saw that. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I got through hyperfixation. Well, I know you are, TJ. Yes, Rody Gal and April T. It was just it was just going back. I was talking with Jenna, and because I was one of the first panels she's ever been up on, and we were going back in time to 2023 when I started my channel, and when I was a rookie, and I'm still a rookie. Still a rookie. Because rookies learn as they go. So I'll be a rookie for however long I continue doing this in life. I was talking to Ro, and I was mentioning that, down the road, eventually, I want to go further with this channel. I want to be able to go on the road, which is going to take time. It's going to be years from now because it takes money. And I want to get like a bus and transform it into a house on wheels and travel to other states and just interview people. Like instead of people coming up on a panel, meet them in person and do a live discussion like the Joe Rogan podcast. That's what I wanted to do. That's my dream. Originally, when I started this channel, which would have been awkward location to have it, I was supposed to live stream from a club talking about mental health. And I'm glad I didn't start it there, because I would have been on camera and you would have seen advertisements that I would have had to blur out in the background. So I decided to do it from my house. But doing it at the club would have been a lot better, because I would have been able to have people come on and interview them and talk to them about mental health. Just have basic conversations. About life and struggles in life and how you cope. So, but just want to thank you guys for being here again. I can't keep my eyes open. I'm still tired. I'll probably be on later tonight or 2:30 in the morning if I'm awake. I just haven't been sleeping well. I have talked to a few people about what happened recently, and it's still weighing on me, but I'm slowly getting over it. So, with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow with a new topic. I will probably be in Discord chat later tonight. All Things Serious is out, my friends.
Let's talk about the mind for a minute. The kind of battle's fought, you don't just win it. It's a war zone inside, no camouflage. Every thought's a grenade, sitting ready to barrage. Growing up, they said man up, but never speak up. So I bottled it all, like a shaking soda cup. Pressure building inside, I could feel it crack. But the world outside only sees the mask, not the fact. Depression knocking at the door, anxiety's my guest. They invited themselves in, now I'm under duress. But mental health ain't a weakness, it's the strength to own. Every scar, every tear, every struggle we've honed.